we're like, I wonder how rusty it really is. And up yonder way, you'll see that the frame rail has exited the chat back here. But it gets even better when you look down on the subframe here. The frame rail in the front is gone completely, and like, oh, they put a metal piece of flat stock to hold the floor up right here. That they added support. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video where we're going to go look at buying an F-body, we sell an F-body, and we work on an F-body, and we work on the track a little bit. This one's going to be a little bit different. There is not as much getting done on the track as in the previous videos, but suffice to say, we are going to continue working out here. The last week or so has been more spent on maintenance with Ursula the tractor and a third generation Iroc-Z Camaro that I owned prior to owning the track that I think I'm going to use as the fast lap car out here. The idea behind that being, say somebody wants to come out, spend some time out here in their car and see how quick they can go. I think it might be fun to put those same people inside of the same car, ultimately, which would be my Camaro, and see how quick they can go around the autocross track. And then we'll get a leaderboard, as many of you have recommended, and I think it's going to be a fun way to have some more content out here in between working on stuff. So unfortunately, when you're out beating on things, things break, and the pinion bearing actually went out in my third gen weeks and weeks ago, and I haven't really touched it, but I do have a new rear end on hand for it, and it's actually going to be an upgrade to it. We're actually going to be going from an open differential drum brake rear end to a limited slip disc brake rear end. So call it a blessing in disguise that the pinion bearing went out. This is the worst one I've ever seen. There's pretty much nothing left of the bearing, I presume, but it is what it is. I also part ways with my 87 Trans Am GTA, and we go and look at another third gen, which I thought was going to be the track car, but it didn't work out, and you're really going to want to see why, because that one was a treat. This video is sponsored by Apeman products, and we'll hop right into a quick little snippet about the cameras that they sent for me to test out and review, and then we'll continue on with the car and track action. Alright guys, so today's video is starting off with us trying out the Apeman A79 action camera from a company called Apeman. Now, I haven't heard of it, but the name's really cool, and they shot me an email about it and asked if I wanted to try this out, as well as their C450A dash camera, and I said yes. So they sent me a couple of cameras here, and I thought, what is more action-packed than playing with simulation adult recreational devices? It's definitely not real. But anyways, I've got the world's smallest steel target set out there, and unfortunately, it may meet its maker shortly if I am worth anything on this, because I actually don't go plinking or anything like that anymore. A couple years ago I did a whole bunch of IDPA shooting. If you're not familiar with that, go look it up online. It's pretty fun. Hopefully this video doesn't get entirely demonetized or blackballed from the algorithm because there's some of this stuff in it, but being very clearly, this is not an instructional video in any way on this sort of thing. I'm simply demonstrating what the action cam and dash cam are capable of. Just so everyone's aware, I had this headband mount before. This does not come in the kit, but it does fit all of the major name brand accessories. So if that tells you anything, if you have stuff that you want to use on this type of camera that you have with another type of camera that you're probably familiar with, it works great. So now that we are on the action camera, I'm going to stick it inside of its home here, where it's going to be nice and safe and nestle it up on my skull. So there's no need to worry about this being against any code of conduct or guidelines, anything like that. So we'll get off center of it here and see if we can't hit something. Well, there you have it, guys. That was the Apeman 4K action camera, as well as a little bit of footage from the dash camera. If you want to know more about this, go to the links in the description. If you guys do want to help out at the track, if you do follow the links, I am going to get a small percentage of it, and that is going to raise a little bit of money to help fund the track. So if you want to get some of this stuff, go get yourself a couple of cameras. They're inexpensive enough where you can really start your own YouTube channel with this setup alone. So what do you guys think? I think we should do some of that content on here once in a while. It's treacherous grounds on YouTube, but I have a lot of fun doing it, and there's kind of a void of channels doing that. Oh boy, did it a few times, but I scared it more than anything. I don't go plinking all that often anymore. I'm pretty out of practice. that's about all I got for this segment. Let's hop right into today's video. We're going to work on an F-body, sell an F-body, and look at buying an F-body. And there are 3 separate cars. All right, guys. I know a lot of you guys are new to the channel and watching because of the Abandoned Racetrack series. What I found is a real inexpensive 3rd-gen Camaro, and as an added bonus, it's got a V6 in it. So it's a 5-speed. It's, as far as I know, it's pretty much original. It looks like the kid has some exhaust on it, but unfortunately, it sounds like he hit a deer driving it back from Minneapolis last night. And what that means is that it drives good enough to drive 2.5 hours under its own power, and he's only asking $600 for it. So we'll see what he wants for it. We'll see if it's all rotted out or anything like that, but from the photos, it looks pretty solid. So I'll check up with you guys in a little bit and see whether or not we pick up the car. All right, we're at my buddy Ryan's house, and many car adventures have started with this guy. So he's probably bought the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 cars with me. So hopefully this one turns out good, and if we're lucky today, we're gonna get to go do some burnouts and stuff with it. So we'll see how this goes. So there's the car, parked by the semi-trailer. Now, I don't think I mentioned this yet, but this is actually at the business of the dude that I bought the Racetrack from. So I'm not gonna put it all out there, but I do think that this car is meant to be. Oh, there's a little rust on it. This isn't good. We'll get out and take a quick look at it, and then we'll get the guy out here and see what's up. We got ourselves a little rust. Oh, there's like a whole switch thing in there.
The tank.
So
deer. Oh, yeah.
you hit a deer is kind of the story, and it sure appears that way right now, looking at the deer hair there. I mean, this ain't bad, right? Just as it is for 600
Dude, this
bucks.
Is perfect. It's even got.
Oh, look at the dash is mint. That's a couple $100. I'll put this on the white car. Oh, there's a little crack in it, but it's a lot better.
Nice.
Yeah, this thing's mint. All right, so the dude is not here right now. We went inside and tried to find him, but while we were waiting for him to get here, should be here in like 15 minutes, he's saying, but we'll see if that happens. We're like, I wonder how rusty it really is. And up yonder way, you'll see that the frame rail has exited the chat back here. The other one's in good shape, so that side of the car is not rusty. This one's really rusty. But it gets even better when you look down on the subframe here. So the frame rail in the front is gone completely, and like, oh, they put a metal piece of flat stock to hold the floor up right here. That they added support. So the floor and frame on this car are completely gone. Which this might be the rustiest 3rd-gen I've ever seen, and I've had a dozen of these at least. And this one is by far the worst. Like outside it doesn't look too bad, but underneath, my God. It gets better over here. The door is all dinged up, and you know, you got a little bit of damage here in this area, but that'll be okay. We'll see. I don't even know if I see $600 on this thing, to be honest. It's pretty bad, but we'll see what he wants to do here, you know, assuming he shows up. They painted over here, and they elected to put a tape line right there. You can see the finish, so there's like a tape line there. And up on the roof, you can see where they didn't exactly mask it off properly. So there's a hard tape line there with looks like overspray all over the hood.
This is black overspray.
What is that?
Black overspray, I think.
So there's no black on the car, but it appears to be some black overspray.
Oh, maybe
it's almost like, this is almost like it was brushed on. It's bad.
Yeah.
But he noticed over here that the filler door has filler on it. Now these are plastic, and the backside seems fine, but for the life of me, I don't know why you would ever put body filler on a fuel door like that, but they did. So we're noticing that. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much in terrible shape overall, but this might be interesting to find out how tough 3rd-gens really are, because they've got an excellent reputation in the car world as being these amazing cars. And we're gonna try and kind of figure out if that's the case. You got your rust bubble starting here. That's real deer hair there. It's rare and it costs a fortune, so I don't want to wash that off. Do you know anything about like the body work or the paint or anything that was done on it? I know you just bought it, so.
Not really. The guy
Just like filler on this shit. Sounds good. Chrome alternator there. Looking good. It runs good. Yeah, really. Look at that. Hood struts are good. That's not common. GreenLightFilming. Yep. Woo. He's low. Yeah, I'd say it's cold.
New radiator in it. It's kind of cool.
Hello.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, that's bad. Oh, do you feel the body move? The body moves over the rear end. I think that panhard rod might be rotted or something. Feel this.
Oh God.
Oh. This is the worst driving Camaro I have ever driven. It's not probably going to come across on camera, but oh my God. If any of these was ever like a death trap, this is 100% the death trap car. It gets worse too. When people make fun of third gens, this is why they're making fun of them right here. It's this. It's in bad shape. I don't even know what this thing's worth. He's asking 600 bucks, but we'll see. When I started talking to him, I put two and two together. That's the same guy this last winter that I went and we were looking at a GTA he had for sale. My friend and I got the car running for him and he jacked the price up and we never ended up buying it. So that's the same dude. I can't believe it. Now he's got this for sale. Man. Dude, this is like, there's a lot bad here.
Fucking frame to drop.
I wonder if I should go that way.
Slam.
I don't run that good.
This is sketchy, dude.
Yeah, this thing is as sketch as it gets. So tranny mount for sure. I think the exhaust is banging. All the shocks are gone. It feels like the front brakes work pretty good, but the pedal feels a little weird. The steering is loose at best. Yeah, oh, there we go. Let's actually see if it's got all the gears. They went 90 in this last night. That is terrifying.
No
when it
way.
shifts.
Yeah, dude, that's so bad.
When you go between gears, it is all over the place. There's something really wrong back there, and I'll try and see what it is before we go, because on and off the gas, it's got a violent shimmy. So there's something up with the panhard rod for sure. It might be gone. I mean, that would probably be the case. We have seen more than enough. The car is a hazard, but I think we've got a good home for it. We'll see if they want to work on the price a little bit, because to be honest, the next step for this car is for sure the graveyard. I think anybody that comes and looks at it is going to see it. It's in bad shape, and they know. We were talking about, they're all upfront about the frame being gone and all that, but it does run good. I got to give them that. It runs good. But the reason we're out here today is there's going to be a guy or two out here playing around with their cars. So while they're out playing, I'll have some equipment and cones all set up so we can move cars, say if somebody goes off or whatever it may be. And hopefully we're going to get a bunch more work done out here today. There's a lot of little stuff that's not real interesting to watch on camera. Most importantly, cutting all the grass that's out here, which is more of a full-time job than I'd actually anticipated, because all I've got is that little Cub Cadet riding lawn tractor right now. It is a backbreaker and it's a bummer. It takes forever and you can pretty much mow out here full-time. So other than that, the place is starting to shape up better and better each time we come out here. More and more garbage is leaving. All the tires scattered out in the wood line are in one pile right now. So before we get into any action from the last few days of playing with cars out here, we'll show you how much work's been getting done, and most importantly, the place is getting cleaned up and better than ever. So let's hop into what's been done over the last week or two out here, and we'll catch up with you guys in a little bit.
I was headed straight for that bump, so I kind of like bailed for a minute, and I lost concentration just enough to wrap it in the dirt a little.
I tell you what, when you exited that turn on the last one, you were 2 inches from the grass. It was perfect.
I what?
You were 2 inches from the grass. It was
Awesome.
perfect.
Yeah, it looked great.
I love this car. I'm just gonna take some cool down laps, and I'm pretty sure these tires they're probably spent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna start shuffling stuff around. I've already pulled the wheeler out. I've moved a whole bunch of tools around, and I gotta get this car where that car is and that car where this car is, because I need to put a rear end into that car. So I'll be selling a couple of things in here and hopefully free up some floor space, but for now, I gotta do the 2-car shuffle, and we'll start cranking on the white car because I think that's gonna be a pretty interesting car to be setting lap times in. If I got buddies over, it'd be fun to do it in the same car. So it'd be guy versus guy, or girl versus guy, or girl versus girl versus guy, or whatever. You know, whoever's driving the car, they're in the same one. It's a 5-speed. It's gonna be a limited slip 4-wheel disc car. I think that Iroc's gonna be an interesting thing. Not only that, it's already on its way to being a little bit of a DIY race car with the Track Spec Motorsports hood louvers. So, small block 350, little baby cam, T5, a 323 geared 4-wheel disc setup, limited slip. It's every man's autocrosser. So, I'm gonna get cranking on this thing. I wanna get this thing all together so I can actually drive it again, because the pinion bearing and I'd imagine the chase that the bearing is sitting in is junk now. So what I'm gonna do is fire these up, get them out of here, switch them around, and I'm gonna start cranking on that new rear end. So we'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Alright, so the rear end is out, pieces of fastening hardware that hold the rear end in. It didn't actually put up too much of a fight because I did already have the lower control arms, torque arm, and panhard bar off of this car once. And being that most of you are new to the channel, I am using UMI Performance's lower control arms, panhard bar, and that's it right now. Got that in here and a 4th generation Firebird aluminum drive shaft. Let me turn this down real quick. So I've been watching UMI Performance's King of the Mountain Autocross Challenge on Facebook tonight. They're actually live streaming it, so what's up to UMI, who I was just talking about the parts, so how fitting. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and wheel this pile of junk out of here because this thing is toast, and it was starting to make a really bad noise, which I was assuming was the pinion bearing going out, and you guys are gonna like this. I didn't show you under the car because I was just cranking away on this thing, but check out this. Suffice to say, so that thing is completely shot, and I'd imagine the race, being the bearing probably spun in it, is shot as well. So this 323 geared open differential with drum brakes is no good and probably going to head towards the scrap pile if nobody picks it up for free or less. And what I have here that I did the rattle can restoration on last night after wire cupping it and, you know, just a little TLC on it, just cleaning it up so it's a little more presentable, is a limited slip 10-bolt rear end out of what I recall is a 92 Camaro. Obviously you can find 9 bolts a little bit more readily. I have a 9-bolt in my red Firebird, which is a 327 geared posi and PBR calipers and the whole deal. But finding one in a 10-bolt where parts are more readily available, although a little bit weaker than the 9-bolt, this is actually a harder rear end to find. So I'm glad I got this picked up from my buddy Brett this last winter. I'm finally cleaning it up. I'm going to fill this thing up before I stab it in there because it's going to be easier now. And yeah, I'll get this up under the car and hopefully it's not going to need much for work. I may wheel this over and power wash that caliper out real quick because it's full of dirt and crap. But otherwise, I'm going to see how the rotors are, see how the brakes feel, and I'll go from there on whether or not I need to replace any of the brakes. I should probably just do it all here, but the PBR aluminum caliper stuff for 3rd gens isn't the cheapest stuff to work with, so just simply replacing things can be a waste of money. The pads look okay on it, and it did come out of a running, driving car, although it has sat for a little while. But nevertheless, this is pretty much ready to go in. We got this to play with for now, so I'm going to keep cranking away on it, and I'll check up with you guys when I'm ready to stab that new rear end into the back of this car. Well, we're saying goodbye to the Firebird today. Buddy here just picked it up, and off it goes to a new home. So we'll put a little bit of the money back off into the racetrack, and we're going to move on to the next one. So I'm losing light here, but what I did there real quick was clean out another portion of the garage. This is all junk, so we're gonna, when we're able to, we're gonna burn the wood. And I'll get rid of the scrap steel again at the salvage yard. I've got a mower that I've had here that I'm gonna sell. It's something that I'm just simply not gonna use out here. And I also reclaimed a whole bunch of 2x4s. They're not green treated or anything, but I did reclaim a whole bunch of lumber that's gonna be useful out here. And additionally, I got a little bit more square footage over here. So I believe these were a couple of benches that were used for concession type stuff. People would eat on them, and they're still good. So I'm gonna use this as a workbench. I've actually got another one over there. That's another corner I gotta clean out next time I come out, because in all reality, it's a real crap hole in here right now. But over time, it's gonna get better. It's just gonna take afternoons like this where I come in and just actually spend some time cleaning and trying to open the place up and get bird crap off of stuff. I mean, it's still pretty gross in the shop. Yeah, I guess the list doesn't stop there. There's sheetrock work, electrical to do, all kinds of stuff. But for now, it's a start. So got that corner all cleaned up, and I'm gonna push on this side probably next time I come out here. But that's about all I got for tonight. I'm gonna go dump off all that material into the fire pit, and I guess I'll probably wrap up today's video. Well, there you have it. That is the end of today's video. I'm about halfway through getting the new rear end into my Iroc-Z, which should be named. If you guys have an idea, drop a comment down below for what we might name it for the channel. It will be the channel challenge car. Maybe it'll be the challenged Camaro. But anyways, that's about all I got for today's video. Really thank you guys for checking it out. And if you are able to help out the channel by picking up one of these cameras from Apeman, go ahead and do that at the link below. And we'll catch up with you guys in the next video.